So here we are again, and this is some other points that we can use beyond the basic constipation um, for just kind of easing this transition. Um, One thing that I think is really nice. So I was curious as to um, what kind of emotional or mindset was there. And from the photo, I don't see fear. Um, it may be indicative that from a couple things that I've heard in our conversation and what I know, and with the constipation. So, this idea of letting go. And so we're going to bring that into some basic protocol. There's a series of points on the chest here that I'm not going to go into like single ones because I think we can use them as a group. And how we're going to do that is kind of hand on the chest or even two hands. So you're covering the majority of the sternum. And these are about easing the inner self and kind of strengthening the will. Because this is, I think, I imagine is a big thing to face up to personally, and we all will have to do that. Um, but what I really like about this idea is right here on the hand, we have um, meridians that all run into the chest. And this is the pericardium meridian, this is the heart meridian. And you're touching your heart proxy, literally and figuratively, onto the heart area. So this is pretty powerful. And again, with that loving kindness, oh, I mean, how natural is it to do that for reassurance, for relief? 2 points which are called the four gates. They're about circulating and getting things moving and to help let go. On the hand, we find this web space between the thumb and the forefinger. And we find the long bone on the back of the palm for the forefinger. And we come to the middle of that, we come into the web. And you're probably going to feel that if you squeeze your thumb in, you're going to feel that kind of pops up. That's right where you want to be on that muscle that pops up. Mostly right there in the middle. You don't have to do a lot of fine tuning of point location in the middle because some of these points are really big. You're going to find them. Large intestine 4. And this basic same um, anatomical structure on the foot. Imagine this is the big toe and this is the next toe. You want to find that the long bones that are just after the toes and go in between that first and second one. And you'll find a place where your finger naturally kind of drops in. This is large intestine 4 on the hand. The one on the foot is liver 3. They're the four gates. They're about moving things along. And another point that's going to be very helpful, I believe, um, is right up here on the top of the head. It's called GV20. I also believe, so the Chinese, say, okay, yeah, there's something important and energetically here. I believe that's where the crown chakra is. It's different people calling the same thing different names. Anyway, classically, this point is found. The ear gets folded forward, and where the apex is of the fold, you kind of reach up across, straight across, like a headband. Yeah, that's a little too detailed. So just come up from the ear, come across to the midline, and you'll find a place where you naturally sink in. I think that's where some sutures come to some skull sutures come together. But that's GV20. So this, esoterically speaking, wants to be open for the soul to migrate to its highest level. Oh, so that's a nice group of points to use. Another group of points to use is, oh, I don't need that, here on the hand. So again, at this wrist level, and again, we found a couple tendons right here. So this tendon that comes off the thumb, you're going to want to wrap around to the palmar side. Let me come this way. Wrap around to the palmar side. And just at the wrist level. This is also a good point for letting go and helping to open the chest. Lung 9. There's a point, again, on that stomach line that we went to stomach 37. It's a little farther down. You're going to find, oh, this isn't going to be pretty, but here, the place where the foot joins the leg. And again, you're between tendons and you're going to sink into the joint. And you're going to find the eyes. You're going to go halfway. That's where you want to be. That's the level you want to be. And you want to be like 2 finger widths from that anterior crest of the tibia. So you're kind of on the rounded edge of that nice big muscle there. That's stomach 40. That's very good for discharging. So even for constipation, you can run all the way down from the eye of the knee down to that stomach 40. But that's one that can be used to help open up for letting go. Kidney 1 on the bottom of the foot. And we see the ball of the foot right here. You want to come just behind that. So you can take the measure of the heel pad and come up to, or just on the midline, come off the ball of the foot and fall into that place. It's a counterbalance to here. My training says that kidney 1 in this situation closes the umbrella of the lungs so that ascension can happen. And again, this group of points finishes off with this GV20. I hope these are helpful, and we will continue. Thank you so much.